Welcome back as we close up a Thursday edition of Running Point on ysnlive.com. We save perhaps the best for last as we get set for a Friday night showdown in D7 Region 25. We bring in the head football coach of the McDonald Blue Devils, Dan Williams. Coach Williams, how are you today, sir?
Doing good, thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing well. So you guys, you're coming off a very nice victory in week the second week of the postseason. You get a victory over Jackson Milton, a team that, well, coach, you didn't see them in the regular season, so it wasn't a rematch. It was weird that that was the only team that you didn't play in the regular season in a 6-week shortened season, and as luck would have it, you guys would play them in the playoffs. So this first meeting wound up being a heck of a lot more than just regular season bragging rights.
Yeah, it did. I know we were playing that game as a league game as well. I know it counted towards the league record, but yeah, we were first round playoff game, and it was sort of odd that we matched up. When the rankings came out and the brackets were set, I was like, wow, we're playing Jackson Milton, and neither one of us had to play in that first round. We both had first round byes as well. So, yeah, it was an interesting matchup. Two good teams and both good running games, and they did a heck of a job early on tying it up here at halftime. Then we sort of held on, and we played much better defensively in that second half and shut them out and scored a couple touchdowns of our own, and we're able to move on here now to the following week.
How did you guys deal with that bye week? Now, as you've now gotten behind it, is that something that, let's say McDonald is in the top 4 seeds next year and the top 12 go to the playoffs, knowing the top 4 seeds are going to get a bye? Is that something you're comfortable with down the road, Coach, or are you just one of those guys that wants the kids to play every week just for familiarity reasons?
Yeah, you know what? It takes you out of your routine a little bit. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I'd be a bigger fan of it if we would be dinged up maybe and be able to get healthier and get some kids back, that maybe weren't available. But outside of that, I wasn't a real big fan of it. We seemed to have a pretty good first week, then things got a little stale into that second week because knowing our opponent for 2 weeks, and that's going to be a difference too. See, we knew our opponent for 2 weeks, and then things sort of got stale towards the end of the second week. But like the next year, you're not going to know your opponent. So, working on some fundamentals, going back and hitting some basics in that first week, and then getting your guys prepared that second week to play an opponent may be a little different, next year in the seasons to come. But this year, the way it worked out, knowing we were playing Jackson Milton and going 2 weeks long on the same opponent, it's a very long time. And I think the kids, got a little bored, got a little anxious, and they want to just play a game, you know what I mean? And it seemed like forever before that was going to happen.
Well, you guys get an opponent this week, and it's a familiar opponent from back in the day when you were both in the ITCL, but it's been a while since you've played Leetonia. Much has changed down in Bear Country, and obviously this team is now a team that is a playoff team and has gotten into the quarterfinals. What have you seen on film that has impressed you about Paul Julia's club?
Yeah, well, first of all, you can tell they're well coached. Paul does a great job with whomever he's been coaching over the last several years. He's been in the business a long time, so their staff does a great job. You can tell they're well coached with the wing T stuff and the offense defense that they're running. And you can see the progression that he's made. 4 years ago being 0-10, now coming out and finishing the year at 5-1, and now 6-1. Those kids have really bought into his system and made big strides, here in the last 4 years. So, they're going to be a challenge for us. They got a great running game. Got a senior-oriented team has had a lot of experience. Played a lot of football games, and they're big up front. Got a good running back in the Ferry kid, and play a real aggressive style defense as well. So, we're gonna be up for the challenge. We're gonna have our hands full, but our kids, I think, if I can look at an advantage in our kids right now, that we've been tested a little bit, battle tested in the last 3 years with playoff games. This group of kids we have been to postseason for 3 years in a row now. I think this is their 5th playoff game in the last 3 years. So, I'm looking forward to that experience carrying us through.
You've got 2 top-shelf players, Marco Ferri with Leetonia, Dominic Shadle with McDonald. They're both incredibly talented kids. And then you've got some really, really nice supporting casts on both teams. Coach, is it fair to say whichever supporting cast shows up in a better way winds up getting the victory Friday night?
Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way. If you got one of our supporting cast kids or theirs that step up, or the opposing team has to stop their best guy.
Well, there you go.
That's what I think both coaches are looking to do. Let's try to slow down their best guy. 'Cause I don't know if we can take it away altogether, but let's try to slow down, Ferry and limit him to big runs and big yardage runs. And I'm sure they're thinking the same thing with our Shadle kid. If we can take away the two big guns, and then you're right, then somebody needs to step up. That's a second tier type of guy, and we both have many of those. And we have a little 1-2 punch with Logan Hawk and Nate Gilligan in the backfield with Shadle, and Dominic Carquito as a 6'4" receiver for us, and this is a talented kid running the ball as well. So we have a few of those weapons we hope can step up and make a difference in the ball game come Friday.
Well, I think the difference between the two, okay, you could put 9 in the box and dare Leetonia to throw the ball. You put 9 in the box for Leetonia. All right, Dominic Shadle's the quarterback. All right, he can sit back and go, okay, I'll just find Carquito and find him open. So there is a difference in how you go about trying to stop a quarterback who's a dual threat than a running back who isn't a dual threat. He's just the guy that's going to he's going to get the ball, and you got to somehow, some way stop him. But with Shadle, it's different because you can stop him by running the ball, but you also got to stop him from throwing the ball because Dominic does a nice job of throwing the ball.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. With our two-dimensional guy, dual threat type of quarterback that we have. We haven't had to throw the ball a whole lot. I think we're only throwing it 4 or 5 times a game. But Dominic has 3 or 4 touchdown passes to a couple to Carquito, I think, and a couple to maybe Logan Hawk. But, that definitely puts a little more pressure, I think, on their defense to come up and try to stop a dual-threat quarterback. And, they don't want to throw the ball, it doesn't look like, as well. They're looking to be run-oriented and try to pound the ball at you. And they got a couple big tackles on offense that they try to run behind. So, yeah, but I think that could be an advantage in our side of the game with that dual threat quarterback. Sure.
Up front, are you guys as big as Leetonia?
We got a 285-pound center. He plays defensive tackle as well, Caden Crown. We probably average. We got another 280-pound guard on offense. So yeah, we can match up size-wise with them. If you took our average 5 front line guys, we're probably in the 250 area as an average.
Yeah, that's a solid front, especially for Division 7. A couple things before we let you go, and I talked about this with Coach Perlogo and Coach Julia. I think that you guys have, the coaches in Region 25, have done an outstanding job. 8 seeds, top 8 seeds, 7 of them are left. The only team that wasn't left is Monroeville. They were upset by Independence, but that's not really an upset when you consider how good Independence has been through the years. I just think you guys did a fantastic job with the seeds this year.
Yeah, I tell you what, it worked out about exactly what I thought it would be, to be honest with you. I think, we, of course, in our bottom bracket, we have Lucas there, who was state runner-up a year ago in Division 7. And, up top, you got perennial powers like JFK and Norwalk St. Paul. And Dalton's been in the mix quite a bit, and I know they're playing Independent. Or no, they're not playing Independence. They're playing, who are they playing?
They're playing Malvern.
They're playing Malvern, exactly.
Yeah.
Malvern, who's had some good years in the past as well, and they're 6 or 7-0 now. So, I think the region as a whole is a pretty strong region, and if you win this region, you're going to be battle tested and ready to go on to the state semifinals.
Okay, how tough is it for you guys as a coaching staff to remind your kids you're not at the point to get revenge against Lucas? Because last year you guys played Lucas, took them to overtime, lost in overtime. Lucas wins the region. They go to the state championship game. They finish state runner-up. How hard is it for the coaching staff to tell the kids and remind them, you haven't gotten to the point of Lucas yet. You still got to play and beat Leetonia and hope Lucas beats Independence for you guys to try to get that revenge?
Yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I haven't heard a word about Lucas this whole week, which is a good thing. And we haven't mentioned it either. So I think we're focused in on Leetonia. We know they're a good football team. We know, like I said, they're well coached. And our kids are taking one week at a time and not looking too much further ahead. And I think we do that. We've been doing that forever here in our program. It's our motto here: just take 1 week at a time, improve each week, and I think that's what our kids are ready to do.
Hey, that's a great sign. Before we let you go, talk a little bit about the stadium that you bid a very pleasant adieu to. Now, unless, of course, you beat Leetonia and Independence upsets Lucas, you guys would be playing another home game there. But talk a little bit about your home stadium that you have unofficially said goodbye to.
Yeah, exactly. We're hoping to get one more there, but we'd like the second last game at at AA Berkey here in McDonald. But yeah, it's been a great thing. Seeing a lot of great football games, a lot of great teams have played out here at AA Berkey. A lot of great athletes. I can name them for hours. You know what I mean? But I've been a part of 21 years as a coach out here playing, and then another 4 years as a player. So I put quite a few hours in, quite a few days in, and a lot of years in out here at this stadium as well. So it's sad to see it go. But you know what? We went down Tuesday and Wednesday at the new facility, and we were able to get on the turf down there and able to get on there and start practicing. And what an uplift to our kids, and the efficiency of a practice on a turf field compared to a grass field is just night and day. So, of course, we're sad to see a stadium go with so much history and so much, tradition in our program go. But we're excited about the new opportunity we have at the new facility.
Hey, Coach Williams, best of luck to you on Friday night against Leetonia, and hopefully, for your guys' sake, you get that rematch against Lucas next week.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Ron. I appreciate it.
You got it. Dan Williams, the head football coach of the McDonald Blue Devils.